Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be discussing the psyop that is the whole coat hanger abortion and the whole you can't ban abortion because people will do it anyway in the alley. Okay, a lot of people might say that well, I'm moderate, bro. I really, I'd rather you keep it safe, legal, and rare, and I'm kind of afraid of people dying in the alleyway. You know what? Well, get your fucking pants up, pull them up, you fucking faggot. We're gonna get to the facts, and the fact is that coat hanger abortion is not as common as you think, and if every single woman that wanted an abortion couldn't get one because of like a Texas like ban over long-term abortion, that you know not that many more people would be doing it in the alley using these coat hangers and shit. Okay, so we're gonna go over the facts, and a lot of people on the left will try to trick you and gaslight you into thinking that if all 700,000 abortions every year were legally banned, that there'd be 700,000 women that would be doing coat hanger abortions, and that is just not even true. In fact, it's like not even half. And even okay, and I'll even make the stipulation, by the way, if even every single woman that didn't get an abortion that was legal got an abortion in a dirty way, I would go for that as well. Okay, morally, why? I believe fetus is a life, and therefore, if you were to premeditate the murder, the killing, the removal, the extermination of a fetus, I think that is a murder, or at the very least, a manslaughter. And the fact is that um, virtually anything to stop it would be worth it, in my opinion. I think that abortion is the literal worst thing this country has done by a legal standpoint. I actually believe that abortion is worse than slavery. I think that abortion is worse than the Holocaust, actually, as well, because at least the Jews got to live a certain age until they were fucking murdered. But still, I mean, aborted babies don't even get to breathe. Okay, that is how bad it is, and for people to not be so vocal on it just shows the lack of convention in the right wing and of people that are so called pro-lifers. I think it's kind of embarrassing, actually. But yes, I'm very serious about this topic. I think abortion is the most important thing. Technically, I don't think it's that interesting, but I also don't think healthcare is interesting at all. And I still think that that's one of the most important things too. Anyways, uh, obviously there is going to be millions of women that get pregnant for no reason, and by no reason I mean they get pregnant by way that they didn't want to tell people about. A lot of people might say, "Oh, well, I was taken advantage of." Like, probably not. Statistically speaking, most unplanned pregnancies are because you were having premarital sex and you were broke, or you just didn't do it right, or you weren't comfy enough to have a kid yet. And honestly, that's your problem. You have to deal with it. You have to take care of the kid yourself. It's none of this like this is also a psyop you see in the right wing is like you can give it up to charity. It's like no, beyond this, beyond this, you can't just like adopt a kid every single time you get pregnant. You've got to actually take care of your own seed as well. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people saying give it up to adoption. I think that yes, I mean I prefer that over killing it, but obviously that's not ideal. I want you to take care of your kid, even if it grows up poor. I still want you to take care of it. And of course, liberals will say, well, you only care about babies before they're born. No, not really. I just care about them more because they have no defenses. When you're a 5-year-old, you're better off than being a fetus, aren't you? So at that point, I care less. And honestly, um, it is your basic duty as a government to stop somebody from getting murdered. And it's more debatable whether or not you give that kid schooling and welfare and all that shit. That is more debatable. So again, not a solid point from the left. And I'm over here just trying to deconstruct these false narratives done by the left because they're inherently guilty, because they know plenty of people that got abortions, and they know that most cases of abortion is because the woman was being a slut, and because the guy was thinking like a dog and went raw dog, and really went in to slay the hog. Okay, so go ahead and look at this. This study, I don't know where from. I don't really care, but they say that 97% of unsafe abortions are in states that are red and states that are prohibitive of abortion, and that's fine. I understand that, but still, look at this. They're basically complaining that unsafe abortions, cohanger abortions, lead to higher morbidity in mothers that are giving birth, or the opposite of, and that it leads to further health complications in the future if you abort a kid without like all that micro scanning technology and all that sophisticated vacuum stuff that the abortionists use. And again, even if that's true, I don't care. I think these women deserve whatever they get in terms of sickness, and more than that, actually. I think that um, if you're so vile to stick a coat hanger up your pussy, I think that's definitely warranting of some sickness. Okay, I just think that that is extremely selfish, and most cases. And sometimes when I say these things, I think, well, what if a 13-year-old gets pregnant through rape? It's like, look, that almost never happens. So I'm not even gonna bother thinking about that. That's a psyop. Okay, that is such a narrow case that I don't even want to entertain it. Right. So I don't want to get sidetracked by the left and them gaslighting people by basically painting the picture of like the 1 in 1,000 case of a girl getting taken advantage of that's underage, that was incest. Plus, she was poor and it was raining outside. It's like, okay, well, sure, there's like 5 of them every other year, fine, but seriously, let's plan for at least 95% of people, which is, you're a 22-year-old college bimbo and you opened your legs in a frat party and you happen to get pregnant and now you want to abort it. Look, frankly, that is your problem. Stop doing those things. Stop getting yourself into situations where you're having to get an abortion. Don't do that stuff, okay? So this is not victim blaming. This is victim responsibility shifting, okay? I'm shifting the responsibility onto the people that are invoking the abortion in the first place, which is slutty women and men, of course. Men are pigs. We know this. Men are going to sleep with whoever they can, usually. And if they get a girl pregnant, so be it. And honestly, they need to be on the hook for this as well. I think that if you encourage a woman to get an abortion, I think you're complicit in a very bad crime. I think that guys that tell women to get abortions are definitely selfish and maybe aren't murderers themselves, but are definitely sus as fuck. And you're no better than like Lady Macbeth at that point. You're just complicit in a murder. It's not good at all. And it sucks to have men that tell the women not to get an abortion and they still get it. I think that's really disgusting as well. But I guess that's not as bad. Anyways, um, from 1995 to 2003, the unsafe abortion rate was about 15 abortions per 1,000 women, right? So that means that we're talking about maybe 15 out of 1,000 women had these unsafe abortions, right? So it's not even that much. It's not even 1%. It's not even half of a percent, okay? So let's really just put this to scale. I mean, this is not a lot as far as I can read this data. Anyway, in Western nations, only 3% of abortions are unsafe. I don't care. Um, and obviously, there's massive health consequences to women dying to this unsafe abortion, but that's not the responsibility of the people that ban it. I think that's the problem of the women who do that, right? I don't care that they're dying from this. I think that that's their own fault, and basically, it's not my moral imperative to stop them from dying when it was their moral imperative to not get pregnant. Obviously, like I said, there's niche cases where she didn't consent to it, and we can talk about that in another video, but I rather not for the sake of the algorithm and not getting a strike or something like that. So yeah, I mean, America isn't even prevalent in these deaths by abortion or whatever of the mother, obviously. So this isn't even a big deal. It's a general psyop, okay? Um, Women just want you to think, and liberal women especially want you to think that if you ban them from getting a clean abortion, that they'll just do it the dirty way. And odds are they won't have the balls to do it, literally, and they just won't get the job done. And hopefully that's what happens. And I saw on Politico that abortion pills are spiking in use in Texas now that it's been banned in a major way. And honestly, um, I think that's gross and that's bad, but that's still not a coat hanger, right? This whole coat hanger thing happened before these pharmaceuticals were prevalent of in terms of contraception and these Plan Bs, right? Those weren't around 80 years ago. So by then, yes, the abortion was more necessary. But now, if you can take a pill instead of a coat hanger, you basically get rid of the whole notion of, well, I need the abortion or else I'll stick to the coat hanger. So the coat hanger is still just a symbolic psyop from the left. It's a psyop from hedonist. And in terms of looking at people using contraception, and they might say, well, we get side effects from the abortion pill, we should just get the abortion. It's like, well, maybe it kind of shows you that you shouldn't abort kids. It's not natural. You shouldn't be doing that. Maybe you getting sick or dying from complications from an abortion is your body telling you inherently that, you know what, why are you killing what's in me, right? That's bad for you. You're going to have consequences, and you should have consequences, and you reap what you sow. You're going to have to pay your punishment, right? Physically. And you might get away with it, but it's going to be at the back of your skull that, you know what, I killed a kid because I was selfish, because I was a whore. In most cases, that's what happens. And I hope it gnaws at you, because if you don't feel guilty for killing a kid, then you are fucking evil. You're evil. Beyond that, you're just evil. Evil as fuck. Okay? Um, so these charts are mostly bullshit. You have all these studies here. I'm not gonna read them. Um, basically goes to show that irregardless of whatever abortion policy you do, the amount of co-hanger abortions will not go up by much. And even if it does, it's not our fault, and it's our imperative to stop abortion no matter what happens. And even if they do it behind our backs, it's better than letting it happen. Okay. So, for example, if you have the option of having your wife cheat on you because you tell her not to, and she does it in some alley versus doing it safe with contraception and you knowing about it, that's not any better at all, okay? It's your moral imperative for your wife not to cheat on you and for you not to be a cuck. It's your moral imperative to stop abortion and to outlaw it, even if they're going to do it behind your back, because you still have to at least put up the pretense of you giving a shit, okay? So we cannot let people do heroin in these nice medical ventilated tents so that they don't overdose, okay? I'd rather just have them die out in the underpass by a highway because I want to have the moral high ground. I want to be able to say, in principle, you know what? I did what I could. I tried to stop it, and they still did it. That's free will for you, okay? I want to be the guy who goes to Sodom and Gomorrah and says, you know what? You guys are living in sin. Don't do it. And then once they get killed, once they get destroyed by their own sin, say, well, you know what? I did what I had to. Okay? And so if you get a co-hanger abortion, if you use the plan B, if you use a lot of these contraceptive actions that kill fetuses, despite me outlawing it in Texas and in America, hypothetically, that's not my problem. That is your problem. I did what I could, which is banning it legally. That's about it. That's about it. That's all I could do. So, again, the co-hanger thing is a psyop. It's trying to gaslight you into basically tricking you to feel sympathy for women that don't deserve the sympathy. And even if they did, mathematically speaking, let's say you were to ban 800,000 abortions, which is about the yearly rate in America. Maybe the amount of back alley abortions would go from like maybe 50,000 to like 250,000, but that's still less than half. So all these studies prove is that I'm right and that they're wrong and they're coping right now, and it's disgusting that they are. And contraception is a terrible thing for humanity, and again, the health consequences of committing these unsafe abortions are honestly warranted given the grave sin that they commit by, killing kids. So that is my point. Thank you guys for watching. And now you know why the coat hanger is a bullshit psyop and it's a gaslighting tactic that will hopefully not work. And I hope that you guys stay true to your convictions because this is definitely a big issue. Anyways, I'm out.